Hello, everyone. Hello. It is me, Bret Shuford, Broadway actor and the Broadway Life Coach. I love doing these lives here for Backstage, and so I'm really excited to see you guys. If you haven't seen me, it's been about a month since I was last in here. So if you don't know me, welcome. I am currently in the Broadway cast of Wicked. Other Broadway shows include the original cast of Broadway's The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Paramour, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I've also done a lot of television and motion pictures, including Law & Order SVU, The Good Fight, and The Wolf of Wall Street. So as you come in here, say hello. Let me know where you are watching from. I'm currently in Pittsburgh, PA, and I came here again. I've been here. Oh, I just realized I've got like a t-shirt there. I have to do a photo in this t-shirt, so it's sitting there. I came to Pittsburgh when the shutdown happened. So I was in Wicked on Broadway, and the shutdown happened on Broadway. We stayed in New York to quarantine for about 2 weeks, my husband and I, Steve and Hannah, who's also a Broadway performer and a ballet dancer, ballet teacher. If anyone's looking for a ballet teacher, look up Steve and Hannah. And we have been here and living our dreams in Pittsburgh, in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, for a minute now. So anybody else out in PA, say hello. We got some people from Maryland, someone in India, someone in London, New Jersey. What's up, Maryland? Moving to Savannah. Oh, I love Savannah. Savannah is beautiful. As you come in and join and leave a comment too, click the thumbs up button, the like button. That gives a big hello to people on YouTube, letting them know that we are here and that they should join, that they're missing out. Click the thumbs up. Someone in Whistler, Canada. Wow. Ohio. I've never been. I don't even know where Whistler, Canada is. Is that east or west? I've got my cold brew. So for those of you that don't know, so besides a Broadway actor, I'm also the Broadway Life Coach. And my goal, my mission really is to help theater-centric especially, but artists bridge the gap between craft and commerce. It is something that, I really see Broadway as the ultimate place of where craft meets commerce. And sometimes we have resistance around those things, and sometimes we just aren't taught the tools we need. I'm putting my phone on silent mode. You should do the same. We aren't taught the tools to understand how to take our craft and make it commercial. And a lot of us learn through trial and error, including myself. And I learned through learning a lot of mistakes, and I want to help prevent other actors from making the same mistakes I did along their path. Because I truly believe that you can have a long, successful career in show business and in theater. And it just really is about setting the right expectations, having the right tools. And so today, my goal is to help you guys get a little bit clearer about how you can improve your musical theater self-tapes. What's up, Belgium? Wow. What's up, Vancouver? Oh, right. That's where Whistler is. Oh, I would love to go to Vancouver. What's up, Cincinnati? What's up, San Francisco Bay? So today, I want to give you some tools to help you with your musical theater self-tapes. Now, Playbill, I don't know if you saw, just did a competition. I got to get a haircut. Just did a competition where you could submit for a Broadway star. And I was seeing a lot of people's tapes. And there were just like little things that I was like, oh, if I could just help that person. So I want to help you, even if you're just doing it for fun right now or for social media, give you some expert level tools to help you upgrade your musical theater self-tapes. Now, I have created a download. I'm going to talk about different tools, things that you can purchase. You don't have to purchase things, but I've created a free download for you guys at BroadwayLifeTools.com. This is just a beginning of a list that I'm starting to create that will continue to grow. And if you sign up to download this sheet, you will be some of the people who get that information as I continue to update that list. But I am going to talk about certain technical tools that you can use, but also some mindset and some energetic and like craft tools that you can use to help upgrade your self-tapes. So where did I put my little list? Okay. So make sure you check out BroadwayLifeTools.com to get that download. What's up, Michigan? Okay, so number one, we don't focus on sound enough. And I noticed that in a lot of these tapes that we think that we're going to, it's just, it's a mindset thing here that we think that they'll forgive us for sound. But I want you to really sit in a place where if you were watching a musical performance online and the sound was not great, and right now with these self-tapes and the way software works, casting directors don't have to sit through your audition the way they do when they're in a room with you. They can literally, if 3 seconds in, they don't like the sound, they can swipe. Now, when I say sound, I don't mean what the sound of your voice. I mean the technical sound elements of your tape. It is not expensive to invest in a microphone, and I highly suggest that you look into getting some sort of microphone and not relying solely on your cell phone. I do think that depending on the kind of cell phone, and I'm going to be talking about cell phone tapes with iPhone, but the same rules apply depending on what kind of device you use. But I have an iPhone 11. We know that these cameras are incredible. They're 4K cameras, the same quality you can get with a DSLR camera. But the sound isn't always going to be great. It's built to pick up the room. It's not built to pick up specific voice items. So if you want to invest in something like a lavalier microphone, a lavalier is the kind of microphone you see where you can clip it to your shirt, right? A body mic, basically. You just want to make sure that it works with your phone, right? Just double check that it's got a lightning cord, or if you need to get an adapter for this, you can. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there of people explaining how to adapt a lavalier microphone to your iPhone. That is one option. Some people don't love the look of that. If you see a microphone in the audition tape, it might take you out of the scene. And when you're auditioning, we are playing a scene. So I actually love this. This is a Shure MV88 shotgun microphone. It's a little flat right now, but it'll fill out. This actually plugs into my iPhone. I use the Shure MV88 software to film my audition, but this is literally the same tool that all the Broadway casting directors are using in an audition if they need to tape it for the creative team, which is becoming more and more common these days. I also bought this, which is a wind filter, so that if I'm outside, if I want, I can actually this will help muffle the wind from blowing as I'm recording myself. So a shotgun microphone is a great option and very compact. And of course, there's a link to this in the Broadway Life Tools device. So I'm talking about creating better sound through getting some sort of microphone. But my second tip is to, when you're doing a musical singing audition, is not only to record better sound, but to separate your sound files. What do I mean by that? If you've watched any of the live streams that have been happening, they did a Sondheim tribute for his birthday, you will see that you'll probably actually see that a lot of these celebrities are wearing earbuds, right? So what they're doing is the same thing you would do, let's say if you were recording an album. When you go into a recording studio, you actually separate the files, right? You have the piano, the orchestra on one sound element, and your voice is a separate sound element that helps the sound engineer create a better mix in the sound. We want to do the same thing with our self-tapes, because what will happen is a microphone's going to try to pick either the piano or your voice, and you can't get a great blend on both. And I'm sure you've noticed that if you've done Zoom concerts. Excuse me, I think that thing had some dust on it. It's like got my nose itching. So here's what I want to suggest you do. Create an MP3 file. So hopefully you're writing this down. You're going to want to get your music, whatever song it is you're singing, in a separate accompaniment track. So you either have an MP3 of the piano or you have a karaoke track. I highly recommend not using a karaoke track. Sometimes they just come off really cheesy. The tempos aren't great. If you have a song that you love to sing, send that MP3 to a music director, to someone. There's a great website I put on Broadway Life Tools called Prep Your Rep, but there's any music director will create an MP3 file of your piano accompaniment. I highly recommend you get this for all of your songs. You have a PDF file, digital file of your music, and an MP3 file of your song. Organize it on Dropbox so you have them everywhere. Then you're going to need two devices. You're going to need something to film with, and you're going to need something to play on. So if you're shooting with your iPhone, you're going to want to connect your earbuds to either your laptop. If you're shooting with your laptop, you're going to want to connect your earbuds to your phone. Now, if you don't have earbuds, headphones are fine. I don't put both in because I like to hear my voice in one ear. Okay, great. Somebody said you're talking about splitting the tracks. Understanding. Great. So I like to hear my voice in one ear, and I will play the MP3 track in this ear. Now, what you'll then have to do, now this is more time consuming, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to up level your audition so much. You're going to want to then, in post, once you've got the video file, which will have isolated your voice, and you have the MP3 file, which you have played through your headphones, you can then go into Final Cut Pro or whatever iMovie or whatever software you use to edit, and you can layer in those. So you have your vocal track, which is on the video, and then you put the MP3 track underneath, and you can set the mix level. You're going to have to match, of course, where they come in, but it's going to be a much better sound quality. And that is going to make your musical theater video self-tape 10 times more professional. And so it is a little more time consuming, but it is completely worth it. I promise you. I hope this is clear. I hope this is helpful. Click the like button, leave a comment. Let me know how helpful this is for you. Cool. So I talked about getting better sound quality through whatever device you're using to record. Now I'm talking about creating separate files so that when you go into mix in post, you can actually get better levels. The third thing is lighting. I just see so many people, it's not even just lighting, it's positioning, right? I mean, I have a lot going on behind me, but you can see even the light right now is only hitting one side of my face. We want to get even lighting. I recommend doing a 3-point lighting system, which I explain a little bit more. You can actually YouTube this as well. There are so many digital creators out there who talk about a 3-point lighting system where you get light from both sides and you have some sort of accent light behind you. This is really the best quality, and you don't need to specifically buy lighting equipment. If you have 2 windows, getting light on both sides of your face, see, I could just rotate this around and I've got better light just from doing that, right? So you want to get really specific about the kind of lighting and make sure it's clear. You also want to make sure, when I say positioning, that your camera is at eye level. I see so many people who they've got the camera here and they're looking down, or the opposite, it's too high. and they're looking up, get the camera at eye level, whatever you have to do. I put a link for something that I carry this with me everywhere I go. It lives in my backpack, and it is a tripod / selfie stick. This particular one, it is not expensive, but this is probably one of the best things you can invest, especially if you're like me, you're traveling so much. I mean, I have not been in the same place for 2 months, really since the year started. So, and I'm not traveling on purpose. It's just the way the life is, right? And when we're performing and we're on tour, you're going to want something like this. So let me explain what this is. It expands. It's like a selfie stick, sort of, except it also is a tripod. This tripod can now live and expand and live. Like, I can put it up on a speaker and just try to get my phone at eye level if that's the device that I'm using. What I love about this too is that it is has a Bluetooth remote that is detachable and lives on there. So I can connect this to my phone. So it's just one less thing to have to go to control. So once I've got my phone set up, I've got the camera set up, and I'm ready to record, all I have to do is push that remote. I can hold it in my hand, push the remote, press play on whatever device I'm using to listen to my music on, and record. And I don't necessarily have to have anybody else in the room with me. What I also love about this is I use it for all of my Instagram photos. So I take this with me everywhere I go. And if I see an awesome graffiti wall, or if I see something, or if I'm wearing cute clothes and the lighting's great, I've got it with me and I can take a really great shot of myself with this. So this is a worthwhile investment to get that camera at eye level. So if you got good lighting, people can see your eyes, and you get that camera at eye level, you're going to find that your tapes are going to improve a lot. I think this is called, I got it on Amazon Prime, and I have a link in BroadwayLifeTools.com, but this one's called a Yuntang. Great. Theater Kid is on it. Okay. So the other thing I see happen is I see musical theater performers with their tapes choosing material that they haven't really prepared. They're choosing things because they want to be cast in it. And here's the thing, right now, let's just be really honest. This is how I am. If you want to know who I am, I'm very honest. And my goal is to push you and to challenge you as your coach. And right now, reaching out to musical theater casting directors to promote yourself is tone deaf. Okay? They are in the same boat as all of us. They don't know when things are going to come back. They are working on some things. Do not choose material to promote yourself getting cast. What I want to challenge you to do is choose material that can inspire, that can entertain people. Choose songs right now that you have them in your book, but instead of trying to sell yourself, choose something that's going to help uplift people. Casting directors need that too. So when you're preparing your songs, think about, how can I make the audience, the people watching this, feel something? It's very easy when you're singing alone in a room to forget that who you're singing to, who is your audience. That's part of your preparation. And it's even more important when you're self-taping, because we will censor ourselves when no one is watching. We don't get that visceral reaction that you get when you're in the room with them. So we will forget that we can affect them. And you can. You have this opportunity right now, as you're shooting your self-tapes, to move people, to inspire them, and to entertain them. So make it about that. Do not make it about the job. And sometimes that means you might need to work with a coach. Sometimes that means you might need to get feedback on it before you post it on social media or you share it. But make your goal every time you're self-taping to move people, to entertain them, to inspire them. I hope that helps. Who else what are y'all saying on here? Did he say Young Tang? Yes. It's in the Broadway Life Tools, BroadwayLifeTools.com. There's a link, James. Groovy instrument. Google selfish. Seriously, go to BroadwayLifeTools.com and you will see them there. I'll put it in the comments. BroadwayLifeTools.com. If we can play an instrument, should we accompany ourselves? Yes. So I'll answer questions in a minute, but keep the questions coming. If you have more specific questions about self-taping, keep them coming. Okay, so the last thing I want to say, the last mistake I see a lot of performers making is they sing their songs like it's to the camera, right? I think that's a mistake because we need to play a scene. Every time you sing a song, you're playing a scene. So it's the same as if you're doing a scene like with anybody else. If you're doing a self-tape, choose an eye line that is just off the camera to the left or the right. There's a huge, going above the camera. I think I've learned, and this is all personal preference. And I always say this, you guys, I should have said this before we started. Rule number one, there are no rules in show business. So you get to create your rules, and you gotta learn through trial and error what works and what doesn't work for you. It's going to be different for everybody. But what I've learned is choosing an eye line just off the camera to the left or the right is going to be so much better to sing your song than to sing to the camera, because then I feel like I don't see that you're connecting to another human being. So who is the person you're singing to? What's the situation in the scene? Making strong choices through your song is so important. Make your song a scene. And again, that might mean that you need to coach with somebody. You need to meet, have somebody look at your material and find ways that you can continue to hone that skill, especially right now. Getting feedback is super, super important. Okay. I flew through those tips, but I think that those are super important. I really wanted to give you guys just 5 things to experiment with. Again, all of these things are going to take trial and error. Find out what works for you, okay? Let's look at these questions. And if you guys have more questions, send them my way. I will get to them as we go. Let me scroll to the top and see. I love these. You guys, your engagement is amazing. Keep saying hello. Keep throwing your questions. I'm really glad you guys are responding. Bonjour, theater kid. Whenever I make a self-tape, I always have trouble compressing it. So I wonder what you're using to make your self-tape. Because if you're using your iPhone, it could be because you're trying to upload it to something specifically, or maybe your file is not a .mov file, a .mov file. And you might want to go into your phone settings, your camera settings, and just make sure that it's uploading to the right kind of, or an MP4. You want to put an MP4 file. What do you think about doing a classic song everyone knows in a different way? Would you stand on name like that? Anna, I love this idea. What's most important, no matter what song you sing, is that it's truthful, that it is authentic to you. You're not trying to do it to be different, but you're trying to do it because you bring something different to it. So just make sure your real intention is to sing a song that shows your personality. Our goal as actors is not to become liked. Our goal is to become known. And we do that through bringing ourselves to the work that we do. If we can play an instrument, should we accompany ourselves? Absolutely, if you can. I don't know that you should for every video, but yes. I want you to think about those performers out there that you love. That, I don't know, Charlie Puth, even. He was, these people that accompany themselves. That's so cool. I wish that's one skill I wish I still could do is play piano and play for myself, because I would sing all day, every day if I could. Ooh, self-tape work for monologues too. It does. All of these tips can apply to monologue work. I would beg to, I would definitely say looking at the camera and where your eye line is varies depending on who you're performing to and who your other person is in the scene. How do you feel about ring lights? Ring lights are fine. I saw somebody make a post about how ring lights aren't great. Ring lights are fine, right? I think a 3-point lighting setup is better, but ring lights, I use a ring light, and I put a link to a ring light, the ring light that I specifically use in the Broadway Life tools. But ring lights are great. Just make sure that if you're using a ring light, you're not up against the wall. I always suggest that you step about, and this really goes true with anything, about 2 or 3 feet away from the wall so that the shadow is less behind you. Sometimes what we'll do is we'll put ourselves right up against the wall. And I would also suggest, this has changed my tapes, I would suggest putting a light on the wall behind you. I put a light down below and it shines up, and it just creates a little bit of depth and eliminates the shadows behind you when you're taping. I'm understanding the info. Good. Great, great, great. Can these tips work for any type of acting stuff? They absolutely can, right? I think that these tips work for any self-tape, but I don't think anyone, I don't know anyone who's been speaking specifically to musical theater auditions and upping especially our vocals. So something to check out. Any advice for brand new beginners? I don't have a reel, but I've done one spot. It doesn't seem enough to get noticed or callbacks. Well, I mean, I do think working on getting a reel is a good idea. Right now, that's going to be a lot harder because of COVID, but you don't need other people to hire you to be working on your craft. Get sides. You can get sides off of Backstage. You can be looking at Backstage's breakdowns and seeing what auditions are coming up. Even if you're not totally right for the project, get in the habit of taping yourself and watching yourself. Get in the habit of practicing. The more footage, the more you do, the better you're going to get. And then you might actually have footage that works, but you don't necessarily need a reel yet. You want to get, I think it's easier to get good work and use that work. So self-tape, student films, anyone who's shooting remotely right now, you can be auditioning for that. There are projects out there that are doing that, but you also don't need them to hire you. Find sides, find songs, and do it yourself. Get someone to read with you, get someone to do it on Zoom. Just make sure you do the tips I said where you've got it, the camera at eye line, and it's really clear. I will say, one of the things I will suggest for if you can't get a reader with you, there are, of course, apps out there right now that you can have somebody read with you. But what I have found works really great is I will phone call a friend when I'm doing a scene for a self-tape, and I'll put them on an external speaker. So I will put them on a phone, and then I'll connect it Bluetooth to an external speaker, and it sounds like they're in the room with me. And I will actually, you're going to laugh, I will actually cut out eyes from a magazine or print them out from a photo online, and I will glue them or tape them next to my camera wherever I'm filming. So I'm looking at their eyes, but I'm hearing their voice on an external speaker, and it sounds like they're in the room. Just make sure you don't overpower your own voice with the sound that you get from the external speaker. Zamzar. Oh, great, Kevin. Thank you for that. I'm basically grandma when it comes to technology. When you say move files, I have no idea what you mean. Okay, so you'll see what Kevin Creary wrote about .move to MP4. And again, Theater Kid, YouTube it. There's so much information out there. You can literally YouTube, somebody will explain to you how to change your settings on your phone so that your files are MP4 files when you upload them. Okay, Lauren says, if you were me, would you finish your college classes in Massachusetts and apply to New York City Backstage opportunities, or move to LA, where I would live affordably in suburb outside LA and apply there? If I were you, Lauren, I mean, I don't know where you are. It's such a personal choice. Where are you at in your college experience? How far along are you? If it were me, I would want to get college over with right now. So however I can get my classes done, I would want to hurry that up, because this is a great time, since Broadway is not happening, to just wrap it up and be done. But I don't know if that requires that you be in Massachusetts or if you can do that remotely. And so that's what I would prioritize. I hope that helps. Okay, I'm just starting and will be going to college for acting soon. It's a complete career change. This is so helpful. I'm so glad, Haley. Hey guys, and you should come join me in the Secure Actor Project. We do free weekly interviews with people in the industry every Thursday at 3 o'clock. And you can do that at secureactorproject.com. Totally free. Would love to see you guys there. Oh, you're a senior. Well, then I would go wherever you can live cheaply. Lauren, I would go wherever like you can save the most money, because you're going to want to save money. Because if Broadway is the goal and you want to be doing musical theater, you're going to be able to afford to live in New York, and that requires some moolah. So whatever's the cheapest way to save up and finish your degree, I would say do that. I just got cast in a local musical, but it's via Zoom for the first half of rehearsals, and there's been a lot of lag and sound technical issues. Well, Anna, I would say that there's, I'm assuming you're saying Zoom. It's just a problem, right? It's just, there's no real solution. What my suggestion would be that they figure out a way to, there's always going to be a delay on Zoom. The best way to fix that is to create, like I said, MP3 files. You almost want to have the piano or the music with you in the room. So however they can do that, maybe the music director needs to create separate files for each vocal line that they can send you and you can have in the room, and then you can work on it and sing for them. They can tell you what count or what time signature they want to go with, and you can do it that way. But I think the best way to fix the lag is to have the music with you or whoever's singing in the room. Also, headphones. Oh, I just tapped on it in series. Having headphones. You want to have the sound separate. If you notice right now, I've got a microphone here and I've got my headphones here. Even though nobody's talking to me, what you're going to deal with always is if people are trying to speak out and the computer's creating sound at the same time, the microphone's not going to know what to pick up. So I have an external microphone and the headphones, and that can separate out for the lag. I hope that helps. Is this specifically for musical theater? I mean, I do think a lot of these rules can apply for people not in musical theater. If you're just auditioning for self-tapes, give it a go, give it a try. But I do think that I'm just noticing people not specifically aiming towards that. Okay. Would you recommend any particular applications for editing your tapes? Yeah, I mean, that's great. I don't know what software you use. I use Apple for everything, but I use Final Cut Pro for my video editing. But iMovie is great. It's super simple. On my phone, I use iMovie, and sometimes depending on what I'm editing for, if I'm using like for IG stories or anything like that, I will use an app called InShot. InShot is a great iPhone app where you can apply and edit videos and change the size and add all kinds of things to that. So InShot, InShot. I'm so glad. Looking forward to we can meet in person one day. I am too, Lauren. Do you slate for video demos like you do with voiceover demos? Yes. Well, there's no hard and fast rule for slating. It really is about reading the instructions that the casting director puts in there. So you want to make sure you're reading all the details for the audition. I only slate if they ask for it. So I don't typically slate for my musical auditions because I can label the file, the name of the song if I need to. But slate, usually you say your name, you say your height, and you say where you're calling in from or where you're located. And you usually try to get a full body shot within your slate so they can see how, just kind of get a full body image of what you look like. Congratulations, Dale. Got my pics. Oh, that's so cool. Will casting directors be annoyed when wearing headphones for the auditions? Listen, like I said, your goal is to become known, not to become liked. So whether or not someone is annoyed with the headphones is really none of your business. I mean, ultimately, it's none of your business what other people think of you. One of the reasons I like using the earbuds, again, like I said, when I sing, I only wear one. So you could tilt your head so that you're hiding the other one. You could, if you have long hair, you could hide it if it's really bothering you. If you don't have earbuds and you're using wired headphones, I suggest tucking it down through your shirt so it's not too distracting. Just eliminate as much distraction as it is. But ultimately, everyone gets it. Everyone is used to this at this point. They know what the situation is when you're self-taping. And if it makes the sound quality better, they're not going to care. That's my opinion. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. Great. Hi, I know. Oh, CDs will be annoyed when wearing headphones with auditions. Did you already mention the brand of microphone? So yes, I use a Shure. Can you read that? I don't know if you can read that. Shure MV88 is what I use as a shotgun mic. Do I have a recommendation for finding a coach? Rhiannon, I would say yes. I would say find someone in your target theater community. So if you're based in New York, is there somebody in New York that you, like right now, all the Broadway music directors are out of work. So could you find whoever works on a show that you're right for and see if they offer coaching and work with them, right? Target the places you are. If you're based in Houston or Pittsburgh, who music directs at the local theaters, the professional theaters that you could hit up and say, hey, I'm looking for a coach. Do you offer coaching? Can you help me? You want to use it as a chance to not only work on your craft, but also build a network with people who are working at the level and the place you want to be working at. So I say do a little research, find your local theater or the shows you write for, and see who is the assistant conductor or the assistant music director or the music director, and see if they offer coaching. I just submitted an audition for a musical theater show and realized I had to pull way back on my performance since it's a camera. Any tips in scaling back for stage performance audition on tape? So Leora, great question. If it's a musical theater show, I would say be careful not to pull back too much. I think our tendency is to want to scale back because of the camera. Instead, pull the camera away more. Don't, like our typical for an on-camera audition, we want to tape from here up, right? I would actually, for a musical theater audition, scale the camera back so you're actually getting maybe the waist up, like a 3/4 shot, because you still want them to know that you can play to a live audience. And it's got to feel like that's a possibility. On camera, it's much more subtle. It's more in the eyes. They want to see your full body. So I would actually say, and I don't know if that helps you, but Leora, I would look at pulling the camera back, still choosing who you're singing to, making it a real scene, but allowing them to know that you can carry a stage. Oh, I'm so glad, Kate, you're asking this question. For dance self-tapes, are certain camera angles more preferable than others? Should you separate the music from the video like with singing self-tape? Kate, that's a great question. I think the best angle is always going to be from a diagonal, where you can get the most space. People are going to want to see as much of the room as possible. Now, that might mean in a dance audition, they might see your living room. I also think the best thing to do for a dance tape is to go pay $10, $20 to rent a dance studio, bring Clorox wipes, avoid people. But shooting, I think the best way to get a dance tape is to shoot facing the mirror, where you can get the whole room in through the mirror, and you shoot that. And then I also think layering in the music afterwards, so they don't hear you panting, they don't hear your feet, they just hear the music, I think can make it seem really slick, really polished, really professional. Hope that helps. I'm a 14-year-old and I'm getting headshots soon. What kind of clothes do you recommend bringing? So theater kid time, I would say bring like 4, maybe 6 different looks, but mostly like what situations and characters are you going to be in, right? What are the situations your characters and the kind of roles you're going to go in for be in, right? At 14, I don't know your type. I don't know like the kind of stuff that you get seen for, what people see you as. But really something a little more dressy, something a little more casual, and then anything that you do that is a hobby. Like, are you athletic, or are you, the opposite of athletic? What's a kind of role that you would get seen for? Not necessarily costume. Don't wear a costume, but give us the sort of the essence of that. Cool. Los, yeah, I think these tips can apply for children as well. This is really about self-taping, just how to make it just a little bit more polished. You're welcome, Kate. You're welcome, Robin. All right, any other questions you guys might have? All right, everything I've talked about in regards to devices, you can get at BroadwayLifeTools.com. So make sure you check that out. Come follow me at SecureActorProject.com as well. And I think that hopefully will help. I can't wait to see your tapes. Make sure you tag me on Instagram at Bret Shuford and let me know. Dress code for the self tapes. It's the same as you would have for any audition. So what are you auditioning for? What kind of role is it? What are you singing? I'm seeing a lot of like really clever tapes happen now where people are actually in an environment and, like on a beach, and they're singing. And you have that opportunity right now to get really creative with these tapes. No, Robin, you do not have to go outside. You're going to find the problem going outside is sound. You're going to get a lot of, you can't control what goes on out in when you're outside. But again, trial and error, try different things. The best thing to do is think, how do I want the other person to feel who's watching this? Make it for the purpose of moving them, of entertaining them. And you'll be so surprised that you start to book more work because people are feeling and they're connecting to you, not because you were trying to book a job. How do I want the other person to feel when I watch this? And it might depend on what the song is and who it's for. But make it about the other person. Make it a scene. And you're going to start booking more work because people are feeling something. They're experiencing something. You're going to build a reputation because you are the person who made them feel something. And that is going to last so much longer than any job, than any pandemic, right? So use this opportunity right now to continue to build a reputation, the kind of reputation you want to be known for as an artist. All right, you guys, this has been so fun. Great questions. I hope you got a lot out of this. We're just at 45 minutes after. So I think that's enough. I think I gave you a lot of great tools. Tag me. Let me see your self-tapes on Instagram. I can't wait to see you guys. And I plan on being back here next month. So hit me up and let me know what other things or questions you might have to help inspire you during this time. We're going to get through this. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.